Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through the Internet's #1 Mad Magazine review site. Today I'm doing a video that's a little different than what I normally put out. Usually it's reviewing Mad magazines, but I heard about this story this morning and I just wanted to do a quick video on it. So this is an exclusive story to Collider, and that is Ross and Marshall Thurber in talks to direct Spy vs. Spy movie for WB and Imagine. So this came out April 29th. A feature adaptation of the long-running Mad Magazine comic strip Spy vs. Spy has been in the works for nearly a decade. Somewhat shocking. And now Collider has exclusively learned that Ross and Marshall Thurber is in talks to direct the live-action movie for Warner Brothers and Imagine Entertainment. Ron Howard and Brian Grazer will produce for Imagine, which had initially developed the project as a potential directing vehicle for Howard. Howard was gonna Ron Howard, the director of Apollo 13, was going to direct Spy vs. Spy. I know that he's like done stuff more recently than that, but it's like, all right. Back in June 2011, the Imagine duo brought in David Cope to produce alongside them and oversee a screenplay that would be written by Premium Rush, John Camps, and then I don't know, somebody has something to do with We're the Millers. And so they go on to, like, this writer describes the two spies fairly accurately. When the project was first announced, it was said that Warner Brothers and Imagine were planning a physical and highly visual action comedy. Good. That's probably a good thing that it's highly visual and comedic, a genre that Thurber has experience with thanks to New Line's Central Intelligence, which paired Dwayne Johnson with Kevin Hart years before the Jumanji franchise. That film led to Thurber becoming Johnson's go-to guy as they reteamed for the underrated action movie Skyscraper. It's a bit of a opinion statement there, as well as Netflix upcoming blockbuster Red Notice. Says, he was shooting something and, the virus kind of ruined everything for him. I don't know what to think of this news because the Spy versus Spy, I think one of the things that makes it so brilliant is that it relies only on visual storytelling. Even when Mad TV in the 90s came out and they animated some of the Spy vs. Spy strips, and it worked. There were sound effects, but there was no voice to it. It was just the black and white spies going at it, and it was entertaining. It was good, and it was true to the source material. And unfortunately, I think that the only way that you could be successful with a Spy versus Spy movie is if you're not true to the source material. I think it putting like real people in it is not really gonna work. It'll be a Spy versus Spy in name only. I don't know how much of a draw Spy versus Spy is for kids, and I think it might be a novelty for adults. Like, I would go see it. I'd go see a Spy versus Spy movie. I don't know how excited my daughter would be for it. Movies like Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, I mean, they've been in the mainstream for decades, and that hasn't been the case with Spy versus Spy. I don't even think that it's the most obvious choice for a movie out of all of the kind of the things that Mad Magazine has produced. I think that there was a blog, a blog written from the perspective of like a middle schooler or like a fifth grader or something, called Planet Tad, and that would make more sense to adapt. It would probably come across as a knockoff of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but you could also push the boundaries a little bit more and make it, I don't know, not sillier, but I don't know. It's a different style of humor than what do you call it? Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited that Mad Magazine is in the news for something other than the like quasi shuttering of the magazine. Anybody who still has a subscription or goes to a comic shop knows that it is still being produced with some new material, but it's just not. It's not the same. It's not all original every single month. So I'm glad that there's something positive coming out about Mad Magazine. I just don't really know what to think of this. I don't know. You can state your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, share it with other folks. And let me know if you like this type of news reporting. That sounds dumb as heck. Anyway, with that, that's about all I have to say on the subject of the Spy versus Spy movie. With that, toodaloo.